My friend, welcome to the world's best kept secret podcast, a podcast that brings you exclusive interviews from experts all over the world with life-changing work that you didn't even know existed. I'm your host, Prima Jobs, a partner for those that are ready to take their life-changing work in front of those whose life or business depends on it. Please follow or subscribe for more. Come back. Today is yet another day where we're going to have a lot of fun. The question we're answering today is, what do you do when there's a crisis around you? What do you do when a dear one suddenly dies? What do you do when the house is on fire? What do you do when you wake up and you realize there is robbers in your house with guns? What do you do when you lose your marriage of 25 years? What do you do when your son tells you not to message them or call them again because they married the girl that you least expected them to marry, and you know they're headed down a very bad road? What do you do when you wake up and your child is addicted to porn? What do you do? What do you do when you wake up and you're a widow? What do you do when you're an empty nester and your children are too busy, they only see you once a year like my mom? 8 kids, now everyone is old. My youngest brother is 27. My dad passed. She's now by herself. And no matter how much I want to see mom, it seems like I can only see her once a year if I try. God help me if I go to England now, that'll probably be 3 years. What do you do when you are going through a life transition and you feel you're not prepared? You find yourself panicking through it. You find yourself getting anxious, getting depressed, getting mentally ill because of that. How do you maneuver through life's transition more? I wouldn't say eliminating everything, but how do you consciously move or prepare yourself for life transition? Because I don't know that it's what happens to us. I think it's how prepared we are. We can all think we go to the gym, I don't know, build the muscle, get ready for whatever, but I don't know how many people think about that resilience muscle and how many times we take it to the gym. How many people sit and think, I need to develop my mental toughness? Like, how many people? Not many. No wonder life keeps taking us by surprise. And so today I wanted to speak to Shama because that's the work she does. Helping people through a transition. Helping people stay sane as life gets, life decides to throw you in a crisis. How do you go through that without losing your mind? That's kind of the topic. And I'm excited for her because she has a unique way she does it. And today we're going to dive in and kind of understand how she does what she does to help people maneuver through a crisis and come out on the other side with, I guess, less beating or less suffering, because I think suffering is a process, but you can maybe reduce the time that you're going to suffer. So maybe instead of grieving for years, you can grieve for a few months. I don't know. The expert is here. Shama, welcome to the podcast. I'm excited to have you.
Thank you so much for inviting me. And I'm excited as well to be here and imparting my knowledge, whatever I learned throughout the life and throughout the crisis and trauma.
Okay. So what did I leave out in mumbling my way around your work? What is it that I left out that you feel like people need to know about what the work you do?
You're right, actually, building that muscle, building the resilience. We are not taught to do that. We are learned that we need to control everything. We are taught to swim the river called life in an opposite way. Otherwise, if you start flowing into this life, into the river called life, it is easy. The stream is easier than we kept saying it. Like if you are in crisis like robbery, as whatever you said, it is an instant issue. You have to come out of it. I had been there where instantly I was in a crisis. And what I did is And I talk to my clients about the same thing, that what you can do is presence of mind is important.
Mm.
You need to know that this is happening, but there's no way out of this by worrying. You can't leave this situation by worrying. So, how do you do this? Deal with it. How can you deal? Either be surrounded with people who can help you out, or trust the divine. What I did was I was working with angels and archangels at that time, so I trusted the divine. The
Mm.
situation was my son. He was almost 4 or 5 years of age. He swallowed a coin, small coin. It was right here. At that time, I was married, and my ex husband started shouting at me. We were at his relative's place, and everything started going on. But in my mind, my son was crying. In my mind, I was like, I need to deal with it. I can't stay at hospital throughout the night. So I started praying. I started to calm myself down because I'm the one who is taking care of that child. If something is happening in your family right now, or something suddenly happens, you have to have that presence of mind and know that there is something or someone who is going to help you. This is the main thing that can help you and calm you down. At old age, it is not easy to trust what we are not taught to do, but the sooner we start trusting the divine, or trusting in an energy that can help anytime we want, it is better.
The way that I see your work, it's more like the difference between knowing how to swim and not knowing how to swim, and finding yourself drowning. If you're in the same boat and you're all, something happened, a wave comes and throws you in the water, there's a different experience for the person who's learned how to swim than the person who hasn't. And so how I am experiencing your work every time I talk to you, it's like, if you learn how to swim, whatever the thing is won't be as horrible as if you're trying to literally run or walk through the water and oppose kind of the flow of how water is supposed to move. So that's how I feel about life. Like life is like it's like a sea, it's like an ocean. And if you can get in the ocean and swim, you may find someone might come and save you along the way. But if something happens and you get off the boat and you don't know how to swim, by the time the person to save you comes, you'll have fought so much that you're even tired and you're dying. So I think the work you do is teaching people how to swim so they can help themselves flow through life, and hopefully as they flow through life, find a support system to save them. Would you say that's close or something?
Yes, actually. And when you were talking about the one who don't know how to swim, you're right, because we are someone who have presence of mind. What will you do if you are going down, drowning down? You start flapping your hands. You will find a way to come out of it. And why not to learn those small things? And the smallest thing is by deep breathing in and out. That's all. So learn something new each day to come out of that ocean if you're drowning down. Otherwise, you can. We are all taught to be swimming in this beautiful ocean, but we forget it. Every time we come on Earth, we forget it, and then we start struggling to swim as though we don't know how to swim.
Did you want to go deep into your story? Do you want to share your story a little bit more? Do you want to give us more pieces about your story?
There are many. There are many stories that I can share where you learn. Like, I'm from India, and we are taught to pray to God, and every morning you have to take bath and you have to pray God. My son is being taught that. But I learned a different thing, that God is everywhere. And God is, what is God? God is the highest energy that we are told is supreme. Slowly with work, I realized that I'm the God, or I am one of that piece of energy or supreme, that I can take myself out. But the starting was when you are in struggles, you try to find someone outside in the world, and when you don't find them, you trust God. You just give up to God. You surrender to God. So that's how we learn to trust God. And the first thing, as I was talking about my son, it happened after my father's death in 2012. And in 2012, when I was going through grief, I found no one out. My ex-husband wasn't there emotionally to support me. My mother was, on other hand, on in her own grief. My sister was in her own grief. I decided that there needs to be someone who can help me out, and suddenly I went into a meditation of Goddess Kali on internet, and I felt that she is going to help me. She is the divine mother. She is going to help me. So I held her hand and start working on spiritual path mostly. Even though I was a life coach, got certified into NLP and everything, but I trusted divine more instead of at that time trusting human beings. So it came to be a difficult situation where, like I was talking, my son was, he swallowed that coin, and suddenly everyone was shouting at me that can't you take care of the child and everything. And what I was doing was, I was praying to Archangel Michael. At that time, I was studying angels and archangels, and I was connecting to them. So connected to God, please help me. Archangel Michael, you are closest, please help me out. My son was crying, crying, and crying. And we had that X-ray in hospital where the coin was right here. And I was like, "Do you want to stay at hospital throughout the night?" He was like, "No, Mama, I don't want to." Then I said, "Pray with me, repeat the words with me," because at that time I was talking to him about angels and gods and goddesses, everything. So I said, "You have to pray with me." We prayed together. Within half an hour, the coin, that doctor said that we have to do something, medical thing, and it will come out. It came out by vomiting. It
Wow.
was divine magic. My ex-husband and his cousins didn't able to realize what is happening, didn't able to acknowledge it that it was some kind of magic. But I told my son that look at it, something happened. We just prayed twice. That's all. And he vomited twice, and second time it was out. So that made my trust even better in trusting divine beings. And now when I'm out of that ex marriage or that still marriage, everyone shout out loud that he was wrong, you were wrong, and everything. I realized that was meant to happen. If I wasn't sane enough, if I wasn't giving everything to universe, the supreme, the source, nothing would happen. The first one is me, that I give up to you, God, because I can't take anything. I was in suicidal depression for almost 1 year where I didn't connect it to anyone. Psychologically, I was in a state called total. I almost forgot the word suddenly. I had it in my mind, and it was about that you trust that no one is going to come to your help. You feel helpless, and in that helplessness, you realize that when no one is going to come to help you, why should I struggle? I need to live in this life, in this crisis, in this trauma as it is. Why should I try? So outwardly in or wordly, I didn't talk to anyone, even my mom, about anything. Whenever she used to call, I'm happy and smiling at everything. And inside, I was dying every day. I wanted to finish my son because I feel I bring him into this life. I need to finish him and then die, kill myself. That stage went on for 6 months continuously, and I was like, God, I can't take it. Either finish me or take me out of this. I don't care how. Things started happening worst and worst and worst, but I came out of it. And my mom and everyone thought that after 15 days or something, she will calm down and she will go back, but it never happened. It's been 7 years since then. And I realized that all the bad things happen for me to come out of it. It
Mm,
was a kick from the universe to teach me a lesson that when something is not right for you, you need to
mm.
come out of it. You need to understand that you need to come out of it. So these are a few things that happened to me that build that trust more and more. And everyone I talk, I say, please trust yourself and trust divine.
Mm. How important is it for how long have you been out of the marriage, and are you married again, or are you still by yourself?
Uh, I left him in 2017 and never turned back. He tried to come back and apologize. He still come to because we are now legally divorced. And
Mm,
in 2021, we mutually divorced, but he wanted to stay continuously meeting his son. So we got those rights to meet
mm,
twice a year, so twice a month. So he comes and meet him. I don't meet him usually. I don't talk to him, but now I forgave him in all these years since then. I forgave him, thinking and realizing that it was for my own good.
mm,
Nothing can happen for me when universe is conspiring all the good things for me. So
mm,
it's been almost going to be 8 years now since
mm,
I'm all on my own, being single
mm,
mom. I
mm,
worked and then I realized that I can't be in job. I am here to work on myself and help the same kind of people who are going through these things
mm.
to come out of it, trusting themselves and their own power and universe.
Well, how
So
important
yes,
is
I'm
it?
all alone.
How
Yeah.
important is it for your partner to be aware? How important do you think it was for your husband to get it? Because I feel like the more confirmation you get, the more you listen, the more doors open. The more doors open, the more you see things happen that you know you didn't have anything to do with. The more those things happen, the stronger your muscle becomes in believing in what is possible. Now, if the partner is not growing, and they're not getting
Mm.
aware, you can very quickly start to look mad or crazy or out of your mind because they are stuck in these defaults. And the more you grow, the more you trust, the more you just know that there is a higher power than you that is doing these things. The more those things happen, I feel like the more you surrender. The more you surrender, the more your partner looks and goes, really, you must be out of your freaking mind. So tell us how important you think it is for partners to kind of grow together. Because I feel like when one person grows and the other one doesn't grow, it can be a problem very quickly.
Yes, it's true. Because I used to talk to him that we need psychological help, couple psychology or couple counseling. And he used to say, I'm not mad. Why should I go? The marriage is going on perfectly for him, and
Mm,
on for me, it isn't working well. There's
mm,
no emotional connectivity.
mm,
So it is really important for partners to work together because family or marriage is like wheels. We all
mm,
heard that story that it is like a wagon with two wheels where there's male and a female, a husband and a wife. They work together,
mm,
they drive this car together to manage the family. If one is not well, then the other tries to help. But if the one who is not well and don't want to get well, you can't help it out.
mm,
You need to give them time, and if they don't work out, just pull back. I learned that I need to pull back, not like um, I don't say that get divorced.
mm,
I helped many people who were going through this, and I asked them to go to counselor. couple counselor to work with them.
Mm.
So I say that if they are not ready to work, if they are not ready to grow, show them, try to help them out, but you are not the one who is going to change them. You need to keep working on yourself.
Mm.
Things will happen on their own. Either they will wake up or you will get apart from them.
Mm.
Something will happen for sure. And whatever is going to happen is for your own good. Because you are coming into light, you are growing into light.
Mm.
And when light is all around you, either the moth has to burn into that light or they will fly away. That's the only thing that will happen.
I know we're supposed to be talking about crisis, but I feel like this is a very good a very important thing, because when you start becoming conscious, you can create your own crisis. Like your marriage can fall apart, and I just thought it was important. But I also think that God cannot place this work on your heart if your partner is not open to growth, or if the right, because for me, I think what helps me is my husband is the kind of person who is always asking the question, how can I be better? He's open. He may not understand this spiritual work and stuff, but he's like always open, like, okay, how can I get better? You need this course or this, whatever thing we decide we need. He's like, okay, cool. What can we learn? Like, I wonder if I think it can be really hard for someone who is married to someone who's like, I am good. I don't need nothing. I don't need to grow. I don't need to see a therapist. I don't need to read a book. My God, I think that can be so hard when you start to grow and become self-aware. That can be really hard. And I don't know. I think it's really important. But I think that when you are clear of what you want, that there is a way that your partner will come around somehow in their own way, shape, or form. I always tell God, okay, God, if you want me to go this way, and this is how deep you want me to go, you better bring him along somehow, because there is no possible way I could be channeling messages when he's over there going woo, calling it woo and craziness. Like, I'm like, God, if you want me to do this work, then you know what to do. I cannot do it alone unless you somehow bring him, I don't know, get him on board. Like I already said, God, you want me to do this? Amazing. Work on the other side. Please help me and work on the other side. So it's funny that you say that, because I think it's very important. I want you to take us through now the work you do, and how you kind of help people maneuver through, think through, walk through. I don't know if you have a framework that you can take us through, like how can I start to look at crisis to the place where I feel completely clear and confident of my new direction.
Everyone is searching that light that is beyond that tunnel. And I found that either I have to read so many books, thousands of scriptures, Hindu scriptures, or all the scriptures of all the religions, or I should start working with the divine through meditation. So I chose the second one, where I sat down and started meditating to work only on myself. There are many things that I talk about generally, that we are sent here to work on our soul, and we are the creator. We create all the illusion around us. So when you are in a situation where, just like you were talking about a spouse or a partner who is not ready to grow, there are many things that are going to happen. Just like you said, that you will start praying. Yes, somehow you will start praying, or the person is like, I won't disturb your work and you won't pull me into this work. Perfectly all right. This is mutual, right? In that way, the person is not going to say, like, what are you doing, or you are woo or everything. But your light will always going to make hurdle with their demons, with their darkness, because darkness always wanted to come out and catch the light. So what I do is I ask my clients, one-on-one clients, to find the darkness within. When you find the darkness within, you need to acknowledge it. It is always called shadow work because it is essential. And there are many things that I talk to them that at the end, it is going to be all shiny, it is all going to be neutral, lovely, where you will be smiling, even in crisis or trauma, you will be smiling like I can see the outer world. I can see it as a third person. But for reaching there, you have to work hard, going through all those tunnels called dark night of soul, and you have to stay strong. People give up. By meditating few hours, people give up easily, thinking that I acclaimed or I reached somewhere. Instead, you have to keep questioning what's next? What's next? It's like climbing a huge mountain top and you are just at the base and you are climbing for the first time with no help. All you have to do is walk a little bit and see, I have to reach there. This is the finest place. I have to reach there. What can I do is I need to walk on, keep walking on. And when you are tired, just sit back and keep walking on. So the basic thing that I ask people is to start meditating. And the easiest form is not to silence your mind, but to deep breathe in and out. You have to practice it every day. When you start practicing, darkness will pull you down and you will stop practicing it, but you have to be consistent. First thing, have an aim that I want to do there, I want to go there, I want to reach there. Then practice meditation, and no matter how many darkness, how many tunnels came in your way, you have to stop right there, take a deep breath in, and keep walking on because help is always there. So, like any difficulty, any trauma, it is seated within us somewhere. It comes out from somewhere. We have been onto this earth, onto this planet many times in past. Many people say, I don't believe in reincarnation or incarnations, but if you don't believe it, let it be, but listen to it. Listen to all those things because if someone is talking about it, it must be there, right? So you have been through all of this and you have been carrying so much of darkness, so much of negativity, so much of trauma. You don't know how many lifetimes or even this lifetime. But when I used to meditate, I used to get my mother's negativity being transferred into me when I was in her womb. She don't know it. It was unconscious. She doesn't know anything about it, but it started getting clear while meditating that we are carrying traumas of our mother's emotion as well. So think of it. We have so much trauma. So releasing it needs to start with acknowledging what hurdles are there in your life. You need to be very clear and then start meditating to get yourself calm. And meditation helps you to get that presence of mind that I was talking about. It will help you to calm yourself and be present at that moment during those crises because crisis is like it can happen to anyone. It happens abruptly anytime. But trauma is something we carry forward ages and ages till the end of our life and sometimes next life. So you need to deal with trauma which is inside us in every bit of ourselves. And while I work with someone, I listen to their story, I understand what is going on, and then we start working on their darkness. Where is it coming from? Where is that anger for their spouse, or where is that anger or frustration or difficulty in having that relationship again and again? Where is it coming from? Is there something that happened in past in their childhood. Sometimes they don't even know it happened at that early age. As I was talking about being in womb of your mother and something happened. So we get awareness of that by, as I can scan the energies of my clients. So while they are talking, I connect to their energy with their permission, of course, and try to get back as much as I can, is helping them to take it out of it easily. So I make them aware about what I get and what they are talking about, and then we work on it step by step by meditations, by talking, and all those things that comes, all those psychological tools that I learn and spiritual tools to help them out of it. And once they are out of it, we need to get a closure for that. And once they get the closure, I talk them out about the life and the spirituality. If they want to come and they want to work on it, they need to do some specific things in their life so that they won't have that thing again and again as a loop.
Mm.
So this is how I work with my clients.
Okay, let's see if I understood. I'm trying to list how you help people, like the types. I'm trying to list it so you can kind of let me know what I'm missing, or I feel like there's a gap for me as I was listening. So the first thing is the story, understanding the story of the person, understanding where they are mentally, physically, understanding if they are, I think, tapping into all of their gifts, understanding if they have resentment, anger, or understanding like where the person is, what the story is they believe about themselves, and how I think they relate to others. And maybe you're looking for some emotions like anger, like I don't know, unforgiveness, like resentment. I think that's what you're digging for. And you call that shadow work, knowing the dark side of your soul so that you can, I don't know, hopefully bring it in the light. So the second part, I think, is following that to understand where it's coming from.
Yeah.
So the trauma work, which is more like really understanding where did this come from? What happened in you that is causing you to hold these feelings or whatever. So this is like the trauma work where you go down, and I think you empower them to kind of go in and clear. You said something like closure. Get closure on whatever labels you have on yourself, so you can plant new labels, or you can make certain things mean new things. And I think one of the practices you said was meditation, because meditation helps with the presence of mind. So when you meditate, you have the ability to tap into your mind and go deep to whatever place you need to do to go get something and get closure with it. That's where I am. The story, and then where is it coming from? Identify the trauma, and then get presence to go get it so we can get closure with it. And hopefully, I think, I don't know, plant new meanings of it. What am I missing?
Getting awareness is like getting clarity, because when you understand that depth, we are getting that awareness. Where is it coming from? And then we work on the steps, whatever is needed. Like in forgiveness, if there's a parent that you are feeling upset about or you can't forgive, we need forgiveness. So getting awareness and working on the steps, whatever is necessary according to your issue, that is the between, and then comes the closure where you understand all of it and you forgive or let go of all of it, and then start a new life with new mindset and new acknowledgement.
I know that you have done, when I was reading through your bio, I was like, my goodness, you've done like 12 things. And when I opened your file, I was like, what is this person? Is she like a, I don't know. I started reading, and then I almost got certified Reiki grandmaster, master in counseling and psychology, REM reader, numerologist, crystal, color and aroma practitioner, master NLP, life coach, hypnotist, tarot card reader, angel reader, meditation coach, channel of codes like psychic and medium. I was like, how do you use all these things on one person? Do people have all these problems that you need like all these tools? Why did you get all these qualifications? What's your reasoning behind being qualified in, I don't know, 24,000 tools? What's your logic there? Why do you have endless levels?
Okay, so most of these are of spiritual divination tools. Like Reiki, I started with Reiki. Reiki is a healing modality, and it heals on with hands-on touch healing and distant healing as well. So I started with that. When I was in a marriage where no one is there, I wanted to learn. I wanted to grow. I can't sit down like that. So I started learning so many things. NLP, psychology, and life coaching are one component. They are related to psychology only. And master in psychology, I came here and did after my leaving my ex. But all of this is mostly divination tools to grow into spiritual realms, mostly. Angels, archangels, crystals, and color therapy, and all of these helps us to connect to our inner self. So one after another, I wanted to grab everything that I can learn. I can get certification in thinking that somehow it will give me experiences or it give me that success that I wanted to show everyone around me. But after all those years, I realized that what have I done? I just grew into soul's journey, onto the soul's journey by learning all these tools. One day when I was meditating, I asked the same question to angels at that time that I have got certification in so many things. What should I call myself? What should I focus on one thing? They say energy alchemist because I read the energy and alchemize it and turn it from the crisis, negativity, trauma to abundance and peace. So that's why Energy Alchemist came, and all these things became the secondary things. And I use all of these things to help my clients because you never know whose energy needs what tool. So they are like medicines, different medicines for different souls to come out of it faster.
So you're like a pharmacy.
Yes, exactly. You can say that.
So then if you're like a pharmacy and you found yourself a pharmacy, I don't want to be a pharmacy. I just know that I need the tools that I need. And if I need a tool, it's going to be because there is someone that needs it. So for personally, I want to do my spiritual awakening, but I don't want all those things. If you had to go back and redo it, what tools would you take and what tools wouldn't you for you? And if you were not a pharmacy, if you were just a human being who wants to tap into their highest self and answer their calling and be unstoppable, what would you take for you? Because I wonder that you need all these things. But if you are a pharmacist, I can see how you need them because it's going to be people who need them. But if I am not trying to be an energy alchemist and I'm just trying to get myself to the highest level, what is kind of the process of what, if they're not Prima who is interviewing everyone and kind of saying, oh, I'm interested in that, I may want to learn that. If they don't do what I do, which is for me now, I'm in a place where I see all these modalities and I can use my intuition to say, I want that, or I want that. What is the process of a normal person who is like, okay, I am on the quest to understand who I am and all of those things, but the tools are just too many. And I want you to kind of talk to how can people know what is good for them without doing what you did, which is take 24 of them.
First thing is to work with a counselor, biggest thing, because they can tap into you and prescribe the right tool for you. the first thing I will say is meditation. If I have to go back and restart this journey on finding myself and refining my soul, I will say that meditation is the only thing that I will do regularly, religiously, as much as I can. Secondly, trusting universe, trusting God. There is one energy that you pray to. Like I pray to Shiv and Shakti, Ardhanarishwar. They are the divine feminine and masculine energy. So I pray to them only. I connect to them only, and I want to reach to them only. So have that one goal. You need someone to hook on or hang on to. And because we are conditioned in a way, we don't trust if there's no one, there's no supreme, we can't make a figure out of it. We can't trust anything. Now I realize that I'm that thing, so I can trust on myself. These are the two things that you need to do consistently if you're starting out. I will do it every day and being very clear what you want out of your life. If I want to stay in that stale relationship forever, I have to be ready to stay in that stale energy forever. Do you want to stay stale or do you want to come into light? Light will bring moths.
I'm just
You have to
wondering.
be aware of all of
I'm just wondering though, meditation, okay, that helps you become present. When you're present, I'm just using my own how I digest, how I use this, what you're saying. When you meditate, you become present. When you're present, chances are you will pick up on the signs and signals, and you will pick up on, I don't know who you believe in, God, Mother Nature, whatever. You will pick up on the signs and what the higher calling on your life is saying. When you surrender, you will learn to trust that voice and move. When you move, you will get confirmation or you will get more things opening. And that is how that muscle grows. However, I am just wondering, I know there is channels and there's psychics, and I'm not the deepest person in spirituality for sure. Right now, I use my intuition and I think my stillness. But there is psychics, and then there is channels, and then there is energy alchemists, and then there's all these people. Who is the person that is able to say, for where you're at, I think you need this and this? Who is the clinical officer who prescribes the tools that people need on their spiritual journey? Who is that person? I need to find them. Who are they?
First thing, experienced person who have been through the trauma that you are going through, because you will try to find someone who can help you, a doctor who have some kind of degree, right? They have experience. You won't go to a surgeon for a heart surgery who never performed any surgeries, right? So first thing is understanding that you have to go to an experienced person. Second thing, you, as it is said, that when the disciple is ready, teacher appears, you will find the right person at the right time whenever you need. It could be your savior. It could be a mentor.
When someone is in 3D, what you're saying can be impractical for them.
Yes.
I need to look. There must be people who do scans, like how you go to the hospital and like it's very clear, go to the hospital and get diagnosed. Take scans, take blood tests and get diagnosed. Now, in terms of like, I think blood tests and stuff, I probably would think about people who do human design. I think that is where I would tell people to start. I think the person who does human design is able to kind of see your shadows, see, I don't know. I haven't even done that. But I think that they would be able to see a certain thing that probably can kickstart you. But then I do not know who has the scan to know if it's Ricky, if it's tapping, if it's whatever the thing that is going to help. So I am also, I think, still looking. Who is the person that is able to do a full body scan Like how you can go to the hospital and you said, do a full body scan or full blood count and tell me what you see. And they go, we see some such suspicion of cancer. We think you should go to a cancer specialist and have a look at that. We see a scan of whatever. I think you should go and confirm that you're not pregnant. We see something here. We think you should go here and kind of try to find out what is there. So I'm kind of looking for that person in the spiritual world. Who is the person that can do a full body scan to kind of at least roughly say, this is to help people navigate that space? Because I can imagine that people will end up like you. You take this thing, it doesn't work. You take this thing, it doesn't work. You take this thing, it doesn't work. Before you know it, you've taken 30 things and you end up becoming a pharmacist when your goal really was to become a heart surgeon, like a heart surgeon or a... Does that make sense?
But actually, these all things still helps me. It is like every medicine comes at the right time to help me. But what you are saying is like, I'm an energy alchemist. I scan the energy. So every person who is growing onto this path has different things. Like as you said, human design. I try to learn that as well. Human design. There are gene keys. There is astrology. There's numerology. There are so many things. Where to go? That moment you are in problem, like this is not 3D. We are not talking about 3D hospital that you go to and get the answer with so many people around there, so many doctors around there. Your soul will take you to the right person. Your soul will feel connected to. Like I have people, I have a small WhatsApp group, say. They are still there, even when I don't put anything every day, still there and attend every workshop or webinar that I put on because they know my energy. They had worked with me. And when you feel that energy connection, you want to stay there. And that's how you find your doctor, actual doctor in 3D realm, and the one who is into spirituality. Or sometimes, like if I'm scanning your energy and I find I can't help you, I don't have that tool. I can't scan that energy. As I told you, that I'm not into couple counseling. So if a couple come to me, I will send them to a couple counselor. I will tell them that you need to go there, you need to find them. So that's how it works. This hospital works this way.
I will start asking this question to every expert. Who has the scan to take a full body count and kind of help people where to start and at least where to look? Because I feel like you can get into this world and totally lose your mind because there's endless things to find out. So if you're not Prima who's decided to learn it all, it can be confusing. Because for me, I want to learn it all because I feel like I am a vessel through which people will get help. But what if you're just doing it for yourself? How much can you take, or how much do you even want to take? So that's a question I will have to ask every expert, and I'll see where it ends. I would love to understand, how do you support people today?
I walk them down into meditation. Right now, I am on Insight Timer, where I usually put on meditations that can help them. Except that I have a website where I put on 101 sessions. I am creating a group coaching session where I will help people to understand this psychological thing and spiritual thing together and work on themselves, who are starting out that I want to go deep into something. I want to understand all the things that happen. And I don't want to learn everything like crystals, like colors and everything. I want to learn something, but I need to get clear about where am I walking onto, what path am I walking onto, and what will I find on this path. Like the darkness, the things that are essential. There are some things that are essential on the path when you have to go through all of this, that I'm awareing in this group coaching sessions, where its name is Soul Alchemy, actually, to help you connect to your soul and take you onto the path of refining your soul. And the one-on-one sessions are more in person and connecting to your one thing that you want to deal with right now.
So if they wanted to move forward and do like kind of dig into the work you do, what should they do? Are we having like a free call for them to book, or do you want them to do something else?
I have, although for one-on-one sessions, I have an apply page, but I have many freebies on my website, a few workbooks where they can work on it, like gratitude workbook and everything. They can work on it and find if it will help them, then we can work one-on-one, and then I give the calendar page.
Okay, so there's going to be the website for Shama in the show notes. Be sure to check that out. Go to the website, navigate wherever, and whichever part you think will help you, just start there. There'll also be links to her socials and all. And so be sure to check the show notes for different ways to connect to Shama. Shama, it's been amazing having you on the show. What are your last words for someone out there that is like having to deal with a crisis and they don't know if they should take a leap of faith or if they should keep doing what they're doing, or they just have a fear that is louder than our voice right now? What is your last words to them?
Ask questions, never stop asking questions, and trust that inner gut, whatever it is saying, it is going to help you all in the times of difficulty, and have presence of mind.
I love that. I think the biggest thing anyone can do for themselves is to connect with that gut. Like we always have a gut, but there's a way life,
intuition or gut feeling.
Yeah, there's a way that life happens and you find that you don't trust yourself anymore. I think the biggest gift anyone can give themselves this year is to pick up their gut again and pick up that instinct again and begin to trust it, because the more you trust it, the more it rewards you. The more it rewards you, the more that muscle grows. But I can also imagine how making the wrong choices in life can make you feel like your gut is not worth it. And so every time your gut shows up for you, you're like, no, I need another coach. No, I need another mentor. You're always looking for external validation. But what I have found is that the closer you are to your gut, the more in tune you are to that gut, the more rewarding your decisions get to be. And the more decisions you make that are right or that are affirmed to be the right decisions, the stronger that muscle becomes. And so you can make much bigger decisions if your gut is in the right place. And if there's anything you take from that, I would say find a way to connect back to you. Connect back to a place where when things go wrong, the first person you ask what to do is you. What should I do? Not going to anybody else and saying, what should I do? Take back your power and begin to ask yourself those answers. I jokingly say less gurus, more inner wisdom. And I think I mean it. The more you're connected to your inner wisdom, the less external validation or help or assistance or direction you need. Not that mentors are not necessary or coaches are not necessary, but I think that the best way to support your coach or mentor is to be in tune with yourself and to know what you want, because they just have the how. They don't have the what. And so what you can do to help whoever is helping you is to be clear on the what, because that belongs to you. What belongs to them is the how. But a lot of us go to the coach and say, what should I do? They don't know. They don't know what you should do because they're not in your DNA. They don't have the blueprint of your life. They don't have the calling on your life. And so they don't have the answer to that question. But what the answer they have is the how can I move around doing this thing which I feel called to do. They are meant to bring the how and not the what. And so the what really needs to be clear for you, which is why I'm saying I think the best gift you can do for yourself is to get in tune with your intuition. Now, how do you do that? I don't know. I guess I have to find like practical 1, 2, 3 things people can start to do. Shama, do you have those things? Like what can people do today to get closer to their intuition? Do you have anything?
Meditation.
Meditate.
Because
Okay.
meditation, that's the only thing. Connect and tuning into your inner senses, your inner eye, inner hearing sense, everything inside, go inside and polish your inner senses. That
How?
those are the
How do
intuition.
I go inside
It's
and polish my innocence?
it's a long chapter then. It's a whole new training that we can do.
Okay, so we are ending.
So,
At least meditation is one of the hows.
yeah.
Tune into your inner self. Let me see if I can explain to you how I do this. Find a way to quiet your head. Find a way to consume less stuff, consume less social media, consume less news, consume less bad things, follow less accidents, follow less, I don't know, politics. I don't know, probably someone will shoot me now, but follow less of, the world is moving and running and, racing. Try and see if you can cut down that. Some of the things I've done personally is like, I have no notifications. Phone, laptop, anywhere, no notifications, no ringtones. I only hold the phone when I want to use the phone. So it's not like people ring and then I'm there. Like I control like all distraction and I create more time for myself, more time to be still. I make sure I sleep enough, 8 hours to 10 hours, because the more I can sleep, the more my body can regenerate. I make sure that if I have questions in my heart before I sleep, I say, I am looking for answers to this. Please get to work. I feel like there is something in my head that gets to work. So in the morning or after that, I kind of find answers. So can you find a way to quiet your life a little bit? Can you find a way to make a drop-off list? What do you need to stop doing? Checking social media the first thing you wake up? I spend 30 minutes max on social media per day. I just go in and I love to see a few people and just kind of support their work. But I spend 30 minutes on social media and that's it. And 10 of those minutes are for me to share my message. The other 20 are for me to engage with my colleagues. So how much time are you spending on social media? Could you cut that down? You don't have to have social media at every hour of your life. I use social media like once or twice a day. I haven't died. Like,
Yeah.
I don't use my phone to receive calls. I call back. Well, I don't have little babies. Maybe that's why. But even if I had little babies, I don't know. I don't know that you need as much time on your phone as you think you need. What can you do to quiet your life? Can you take off the pings? Can you disable you being notified every time an email comes in? Because you don't have to be on your email every second unless that's the job, like a call center job. Your emails can wait. Guess what? Your messenger messages can wait a day. That comment under your post doesn't have to be answered immediately. Oh, I know what the algorithm thing is, but seriously, what can you do to quiet your life today? Because if your life is noisy and everything is just rotating like you're in New York City, then it just be harder to get messages when they come. It will be harder for you to pick up on the signals. It will be harder for you the opportunity to, when it arrives, it will be covered in noise and you may not get it. And so if there was a way to add more stillness, more quiet time, more silent time, more distraction-free times, that's what I would say. If you could find a way to put in more sleep, if you could find a way to get on that walk and leave the phone behind. I used to go on my walks with podcasts in my ears, but I realized that when I go and just enjoy the green now, I get more benefit from it. What can you take the phone and put it away for a few hours? What can you do to get out of the drip? I think that's the word. Get out of the drip. Because most of us are like, we live on a drip. Social media, no news. Get off the drip, my friend. Saying all this with love, of course, the best gift you can offer this community and the work that God has placed on my heart is to take this episode and share it with one person that you believe needs to meet. Shama. Just take it, share it with one person that has a crisis, or maybe has crisis after crisis, or you just feel like their life is a crisis, share it with them and let them start there. Maybe her story, maybe whatever she's shared will be able to help that person. And as always, if you're on your app, get there and review, subscribe, follow, rate, do all of the amazing things that a podcast would need to grow. My dream is that one day I'll bring Oprah on this show. And the question I need to answer when I decide to reach out to Oprah is, how big is the community? You hold the tools in your hands to support me with this dream. And the only thing you have to do is subscribe and share the episode with one person. It's just a matter of time. The channel will grow and Oprah will be here. And when that day comes, you and I will be smiling and celebrating, because now I have the power to bring anyone and everybody on the show. Appreciate you, my friend. I hope this was insightful for you. Have a lovely day. I'll talk to you very soon. That is it, my friend. To listen to more exclusive interviews like this one, simply go to the World's Best Kept Secret podcast.com and select interviews based on preferred topic.